Another. So I might have a go with this one. I do quite like the it just doesn't feel like it needs quite so much in a way. I like this bit through the middle. It looks really quite exciting. The again, this kind of crashing wave sort of shape. It's got a nice feel to it. There's a nice bit that's come off one of the other ones. I like the look of this area here. I'm hoping that that will fit in with this one, if I'm lucky. Because it's slightly dull down here, but this is a little bit more exciting. There's a big torn edge here, which I'm not too keen on, so get rid of all that. Like I say, if you use paper which is kind of too good for this, then it's, in some ways, you know, you feel pressures about working like this and ripping it up and mucking about with it. And the other problem with it is sometimes it can be too thick. You know, if you're using, you know, watercolor paper, it's not as easy to tear it up and collage it back together again. So just using kind of ordinary sketching paper, it's just cartridge paper. I find it's the best way to go, because you don't have that preciousness. You don't kind of feel like you're you know, spending a load of money every time you tear up a bit of paper. So you don't have that. So you don't have that preciousness. And also, it's nice and easy to tear into. I quite like that. It's got too much white in it though, so let's lose maybe that bottom piece. I like these slightly softer colours through the middle here. In fact, that's actually quite nice there. Maybe that's where it goes. I'll have to stick this one down first. Where's my bit? There we go. Let's try it. Yeah, I like these kind of softer greys, green coming in there, sort of there's quite a lot of all these different coloured lichen on the rocks where I was. It was, even though the rocks were quite dark, I'm not sure, they may be like volcanic, I think. Don't quote me on that. But they were very dark, the rocks. And I had all this incredible lichen growing on. It's kind of very dark, but with intense colour as well. So it's quite interesting. Those little areas of stronger colour. I'll just move that down a little bit. Let's see. And as a process, it's good fun. It should be. I think it should be fun. I think often it's easy to forget that painting and drawing, sketching, you know, it's good fun. It should be. And it's finding ways to keep it fun and not feel like everything is like the end of the world, you know. Easy to say, but I think working like this helps to keep that sense of fun, spontaneity, creativity. Of course, the other thing about putting work into sketchbooks like this is that you know, if you go out and do a load of sketching on pieces of paper, loose pieces of paper, if you don't do something with them, they're just going to end up sitting around on the studio floor maybe end up in the bin one day, you know, so this is a way of keeping them. And not everything turns out brilliantly, but that doesn't mean it isn't worth keeping. I've got loads of these books from years back. And sometimes I'll go through them if I'm looking for, you know, an idea or some inspiration for one of my paintings, and I'll pick something out that's suddenly I think, why haven't I used that? Why didn't I use that before? It's just the right thing from years ago. I might have thought nothing of it at the time. I just kept it because I did it just for the sake of it. I thought nothing of it. And then suddenly one day it becomes exactly what you need. I don't know if I'm going to do that. I'm just trying it out. Just want to lose that straight edge. So the problem here is that I quite like this bit, but I also quite like the bit that's underneath, so I'm probably just going to leave it alone. But I like that sense of kind of explosion. No, I think I'll probably just leave it alone because it's more about the sense of movement, the mark making that I did while I was out by the sea. So it kind of feels like the place I was in. So all I've done really here on this one is crop a piece out and collage a piece in. It just changes the characteristics of it a bit, makes it a bit more interesting, certainly gives me somewhere to go with the finished paintings. Yeah, so that was the first one. So out of those 4 sketches, I've actually only used 3. I think the first one was a bit boring, to be honest. That's that one. It's all right. It's just a bit boring, so I just didn't really use it. I think it was the first one from the session. I often find that it takes a while to warm up. So yeah, out of those 4 sketches, I've got 2 pieces in my sketchbook, so that's not bad hit rate. And I think they could be useful. They've got a nice sense of movement, energy. And I think importantly, when I look at them, they'll remind me of where I was. So I think when I'm painting, it's a combination of looking at the sketches, certainly, but also using them to put myself back in the place.